Hey everyone, the numbers are in for Hidden Dunes in Panama City Beach for the first quarter of 2023. I'm Craig Duran with the Duran Group at Berkshire Hathaway HomeServices, right there, in the virtual office today. So having a couple of camera issues there, but we'll work through it. A couple things I want to show you today. Our MLS system has some really interesting new reporting features I can get even more in depth about and show you a couple things about the market, give you a better understanding of what's happening in the Gulf Front condo market and Hidden Dunes specifically. We'll talk about pricing a little bit. Also, pardon me, for those of you involved in short-term rentals, whether you're thinking about buying one, thinking about selling one at some point, or you're doing a short-term, you have a short-term rental property now at Hidden Dunes, wait till you see this software that I've got. It's a real game changer for anybody that's going to do anything with short-term rentals going forward. So the number of units for sale in the overall Gulf Front condo market is up. We had January, February of last year, we had very few condos for sale. Now buyers have more choices than they used to. We're not surprised by that. The number of units that have sold is down quite a bit when you're comparing it to the last couple of years. We had 92 Gulf Front closings in March of this year, when back in March of 2021, we had about 175. So we're selling fewer condos, but wait till we get to this months of inventory number. You may be surprised by that. The price trends, let me make this a little clearer for you. The median sales price has ticked up a little bit in the last few months. As you can see, it still continues to climb very generally. Fact announced this week that they expected nationally that housing would appreciate only 3.5% this year, after having really robust appreciation in the last few years. So still a lot of optimism, especially coming from Fact. The sales price to list price ratio you're seeing here, like it sounds, what is the ratio of the asking price and then the final sales price? This is another good barometer of the market. Right now, it's sitting at about 96.3%. So there's about a 3.7% negotiation on average in the market. Days on market, the average days on market right now is sitting at 59 days for condo. It's kind of been around that range for 1, 2, 3, 4 of the last 6 months. It jumped a little bit in February and January, not terribly surprising because the market cools off around the holidays. But 59 days for days on market is a very healthy, neutral market. A lot of times in the past, 99, 100, 105 days has been a normal thing to sell real estate. So being at 60 days is not that long still. It seems like forever when we were selling things. Look, in January or June of 2022, we were selling units in 11 days on average. But 60 days is, if we keep it in perspective, 60 days is still not a terribly long time. This is probably the most interesting chart. It's a different version of the same one you've been hearing me talk about for years. We're at 2.9 months of inventory in the entire condo market. We spiked quite a bit. We were up around 6 back in November and January. And so I was a little concerned when we saw this line moving up like that as the market slows down, were we going to continue to pass 6 months? Because remember, anything sort of past over 6 months of inventory is very much buyer market territory. That's a very sluggish market. That's when you normally see prices start to come down. 2.9 months of inventory is a very healthy market, really into seller market territory. So I think that's one thing people are missing right now is, yes, even though we are selling far fewer condos, 92 versus 175 in March than we were, it has everything to do with supply and demand. So we have less units in the market, we have less buyers in the market, but the ratio of that happening is still a very balanced, healthy seller's market in the condo market. So if you're thinking about selling this time of year, which is already a good time of year to be selling and taking advantage of the market, things really are working in our favor for sellers. Over the first quarter, we only have 3 things to report in Hidden Dunes. You may have seen these already. We had 1103 closed for $925,000, 801 closed for $1.15 million. 305 is under contract right now. Asking price is $995. Now check this out and think about it from a couple different perspectives. When I'm working with a buyer looking for a condo, the vast majority of them are going to do some type of rentals with the units. So one of the things that's important to figure out is, what is the rental income? What's the rental potential of this thing? Okay, we see the view, we see the layout. What kind of rental numbers should we expect? A lot of times owners have a detailed report to provide, but sometimes an owner uses it a lot. Sometimes the owner doesn't have a great rental manager. Sometimes they have a very good rental manager. So those numbers can vary quite a bit. So it's challenging for a buyer to really feel good about what the rental potential is for something. If you're selling a unit, it makes a huge difference in the marketing. If I'm selling a unit at Hidden Dunes and I'm asking 1.1 million, and I can show reports that show 100,000 plus in gross rentals, that's going to really, really help my case much more than a report that says 60,000. So check this out. Now some software that lets us give buyers and sellers in our marketing a really, really nice advantage. We fill in the price up here, how many bedrooms, how many guests potentially, and it shows us a lot of things in there. This is called their rentalizer, but they're giving us an average rental revenue of $96,000, the average daily rate, the average occupancy rate. Some investors like to look at the average daily rate and the average occupancy rate, even though we're so seasonal and those numbers change a lot in season. It's a nice number to have to show people. We can show what we're estimating rental revenue to look like, and to forecast a little bit. We can show when the money tends to flow in throughout the year. Anybody who's doing short-term rentals knows this very well. If we really want to, we can all in one place. We're already doing this somewhere else, but we can give them a really estimated a good breakdown of cash flow by filling in some of this. But the most important part of this is this here. What this system is doing is aggregating or taking in all of the data from VRBO and Airbnb listings they can find, and they're taking it across the entire beach. So I can pull this from anything that's a short-term rental anywhere on the beach. And now, but this is where we're working just off of Hidden Dunes, and now I can show a buyer and work for a seller and show them this. So, hey, this one only did 44,000. The revenue potential was 99. This one did 43. But of course, this one was only available for rent 142 days. This one was available 205 days. Look at this one, was available for 240 days. They did 96,000. They did 142,000. They really rented it a lot. They did 169,000. They rented it a lot. They did 129,000. They did 161,000. And it goes on and on and on. So you get the idea that this is going to be really helpful for me on both sides of helping buyers and sellers. If I'm working with buyers, I can give buyers confidence that value is there, even on a unit that may not have great rental history itself. On the listing side, when I'm helping a seller, think about what we can now start to defend as an asking price when we can show 142,000 revenue, 169, 129, 161. It's really, really going to be a game changer for us. So I'm just playing with the system. I came across it this week. We're going to do a lot more with it in the coming months, but look for that going forward. So in the meantime, I hope you guys found this helpful. Very generally speaking, the condo market is pretty healthy right now. I think the big question mark out there is what happens later into the summer going into the third and fourth quarter this year. But at the moment, a lot of really good activity in the market. We're getting a fair amount of transactions done, certainly not as much as 2 years ago. But units that are priced well and offer good value are getting a lot of activity in selling. I hope you guys found this helpful. If you have any questions on this at any time, or just real estate in general, you don't have to be in the middle of buying or selling. If you just want to strategize or think about some things, feel free to reach out. My cell number, text or call 850-527-0221. Again, I'm Craig Duran with the Duran Group, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. Thanks for watching.